welcome everyone to Nerd TV for the second race of the Martin Sports Truck Series here, coming from you live from the simulated worldwide technology raceway, where these guys from FTSR are going to tackle this track for 120 laps for this 1.25 mile speedway. As you see, kind of back behind the logos there and on your screen there on the lower side, you're going to see the weather. It's really cloudy out. It says partly cloudy, but that's off way off in the distance. 6-mile-an-hour winds, 84 on the track, and 50% humidity, which I have seen a lot of good practice. A lot of loose trucks, very common for Worldwide Technology Raceway. So it's going to produce an awesome race for you guys with the grip levels a little higher. And as I say that, of course, the sun comes out in turn 2, so ignore me there. But my name is Jeremy Stanley, and to my right-hand side, co-partner tonight, along with the producing, Mr. Dustin Logston. How is it going over there, Mr. Wavy?
Oh, I tell you what. Yeah, I know I'm different. I waved. Usually I give the shaka, but yeah, whatever.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's Worldwide Technology Raceway. I tell you what, this is a track it's a very unique configuration. It really is. You guys seen it on the pre-race preview there for the track. It almost, from the aerial view, very reminiscent of a Darlington. It just turns our flip-flop, turns 1 and 2 here a little tighter. 3 and 4 are more of a wide gaping turn. But it's, just a little over a mile. So it races like a short track. It's even your corners. You handle this like a short track. It's a fun track. It's one that I enjoy racing, but it's definitely a driver's track, Jeremy.
100%. There is a flat spot in turn 1 and turn 2 on the very bottom, so you have like a multi-banking situation. Turn 3 and 4, it's not so much apparent. You can run the bottom, but it's very Darlington-like shaped track. So the corner's really wide in 3 and 4 as far as that sweeping corner. So you kind of want to not hug the bottom at the center apex portion. Kind of maybe want to diamond it off a little bit to straighten out your corner exit. But turn 1 and turn 2 especially, it is definitely a driver's corner. You have to have that thing hooked up. You can't overdrive because it's not forgiving. It'll throw you way up the track. I've seen tons of wrecks there over the time. And I want to make a mention, Dustin, your stats there on the screen did not show the track temperature, just the air temperature. I just looked at it.
It did,
and the
119.
Yeah, the sun came out. It was 117. As soon as the clouds went away, it jumped up 3 degrees to 120 just now on my screen. I don't know why, but it's almost 40 degrees hotter on the surface. That's one of the hottest temps we have seen, I think, all of us broadcasting it since we started a year and a half ago at FTSR.
Yeah, so it's the intro graphics are a little different. So the track temperature is actually underneath the track layout. I noticed that this time when we were talking about it, but presented by Roasted Gems Coffee, there is your weather stats right now that Jeremy was talking about, and actually has gone up a degree on the track temperature since we just talked about it. So
another one.
This is another one bites the dust. So this is going to be a very hot track. Air temp 84 degrees, 121 on the track. That's going to play factors and dividends in this race, Jeremy. Like you said, turn 1 is very tricky. It's very easy to overdrive. That's where you could see drivers make mental mistakes. They maybe not prep the brakes, not set up, not give enough brake pressure to bring it down to a stop before entering the corner, and that's where things can get real hairy. So corner entry is going to be a big thing. These corners almost remind me, just because of how flat it is, Jeremy, almost like a New Hampshire. You almost have to take these corners like you would at New Hampshire just because of how flat it is.
Yeah, no kidding. Turn 3 and 4 especially, that's the flatter corner. That's very New Hampshire-esque. That's a good point there to make. And it already went up 2 degrees since you talked right there. It's 123 on the track now, so somehow
it's on my hot air.
It's
on my hot air. I just got to shut up.
We are 10 degrees from boiling over here on this surface. So, gonna be quite crazy. And you can tell that you're a rock fan to my hip hop fan when I was going with the DJ Khaled, another one, and then you hit me with another one bites the dust there. So, you can see our differences amongst us. But we got 15 seconds left before practice is over. Fastest on the board is Richie Coy, Bobby Terrell, 2 teammates from Fury Motorsports. Last week's winner, Cody McKinney, going to be right now 3rd place on practice, which, him and McKinney Racing, if he's starting in third, these guys better watch out because his long run truck will be there. Nicholas Casey won this thing last year, 68 laps led. Will someone top that and lead more than 68 laps? That's almost half, or just past half the race, rather. So it is our time, though, to get our mugs off your guys' screen. And we're going to turn our attention to qualifying, try to pick out some trucks as they get on the surface. Looks like we got Malikian on, Richie Coy's on. Richie might be a good one there, Dustin. P2 in practice. And this guy, every time I see him at Gateway or any type of short track, you better watch out for this 19.
Oh yeah, it's guy knows how to wheel. He really does. I mean, a lot of the drivers do. This is definitely a driver's track. Definitely expecting to see a lot of stellar performances tonight. I do want to shout out in the chat on Facebook. Steve Loomis is watching from Linton Ballfield, Grass Valley, California. Go Blackwater is Richie Coy. I don't think that's how we want to start it. And on the Twitch side, the head nerd in charge herself is tuning in to watch these boys do 120 laps here at Gateway.
Yeah, I mean, that's awesome. We got some activity already in the chats. As we're going to see Richie Coy try this second time here. I guess he didn't like his entrance into 3, so he backed that out. And you can do that on iRacing. You take the damage and you reset the truck. You get a brand new machine, and then you try it again. This time a much more flawless 3 to 4 little bobble there. Maybe a little bit of extra checkup. I don't know about this opening lap here, but unlike we saw last week, I think lap 1 is going to be your hot lap because this track, especially turn 1, turn 2, eat your tires up. A big bobble there by Richie.
Yeah, as we were just talking about that. Like I said, just a big bobble right there from the 19 through 1 and 2, and more so from the center off. It just looked like he lost a lot of grip on that, so that's going to hurt him on that qualifying time right now, Jeremy. As these, like you said, I agree. I think that first lap is probably going to be your heater lap. That's probably going to be the one that's going to stick and maintain the most. We'll just have to see what's going on right now. Richie Coy sitting P13 as it sits right now with that lap time. That lap time was a 36.6. And to compare, right now, your pole sitter, Hollinsworth in that 5, is at a 34.26. So if that tells you anything, he's definitely going to have to pick it up on this second lap, Jeremy.
This is going to be a solid lap from Richie. That turn 1 and turn 2 was flawless. Got down to the bottom, shifted just up to the very low part of the higher banking, and stuck it. 3 and 4 looked pretty good. Comes across the line, jumps up to P5 there at a 34.3, 2/10 off his fastest practice lap. But right now, teammate Fury Motorsports, Bobby Terrell, holds the fastest time by 5/1000ths of a second over Stephen Hollingsworth. Good showing here from the 5 truck.
Yeah, really good, strong showing from the 5 there. Bobby Terrell in the 4 at 34.25. Right now, we're actually on board. Camera is focused on the 27 of Ryan Chapman, and this is a good time to bring in that cockpit cam presented by iRock 93.5. iRock rocks you in the driver's seat, so why would they not rock you in the cockpit? So we're going to ride on board with Ryan Chapman, check in on him a few times throughout the races. He's our, I guess, official, unofficial in-race reporter? I mean, does that make sense, Jeremy?
Kind of. I'm kind of surprised. Oh, there he is. Yeah. It almost, you can't see the shifter in his hands. It looked like his hand was just floating there. There's the light change. But yeah, that's not how we're supposed to introduce this new portion of the broadcast, Dustin. I think you missed a couple words, or some emphasizing. But either way, showcasing some new features here in the broadcast. Ryan Chapman's going to be our guy here. If there's a couple cautions and he's open to communicate with, want to even pull him in for a mid-race interview, you never know. And of course, post-race, if he makes the top 3, any driver who is watching who wants to be on camera, mid-race, pre-race like that, or post-race for your interview, get yourself set up with Dustin. He's gonna get you all hooked up, and we'd love to be more interactive like that with the drivers. It's kind of cool. We did that before 2022 a little bit. And it kind of fell away, but we're bringing it back, and hopefully it sticks a little bit more. But qualifying has got a half a minute left, Dustin, and right now, Cody McKinney, last week's winner, coming through late, coming P1.
34.17, almost a full tenth faster than your second place driver right now, Bobby Terrell. So again, coming in, it's going to be lightning fast. And yeah, like you said, we like doing stuff like that. We're here for the viewers out there, for the drivers out there, because they like going back and watching it again. So we love doing things like that. And shout out to the head nerd in charge. She says, yes, it does look like it is floating. But Jeremy, we're gridding up. It's race time, Bubba.
It is 29 trucks in the server. They're going to line up for 120 laps here at Gateway or Worldwide Technology Raceway, whatever you want to call it. Cody McKinney going to be taking this thing P1. Bobby Terrell on his outside is going to be starting in second place. Stephen Hollingsworth is going to start off row 2 on the inside with Sylvain Jolly. Good qualifying effort from that 08. Going to be starting at 4th. Curtis Vollmer is going to be starting in 5th place with veteran Richie Coy going to be starting in 6th place to his outside. Tyler Brown starting at 7th. Ryan Chapman, our in-race guy tonight, is going to be in 8th. J.P. Burns, 9th. Tyler Greneau coming off a top 3 finish from last week. He's going to be starting in 10th. Austin Gassion is going to be starting 11th. 12th, Sherwood Williford. 13th will be Kyle Milliken. 14th, you'll find the 29 of Tommy Schaefer. 15th, Marshall Johnson. 16th place, Joseph McKinney. 17th, TJ Bartel. 18th place, you'll find Robert Malikian. Starting in 19th will be the number 10 of Colton Gum, Brody Hanna. Welcome back. He's going to be starting in 20th place. 21st, Lane Allen. 22nd, Mark Brannigan Jr. And 23rd on back did not qualify, so they're just going to be sorted by iRating. It'll be the 6 of James Torrey, 21 of Shad Curran, 91 of Justin Diltz, 22 of Michael Blackner, number 2 of Alan Duranco, 51 Brandon Elder and Colby Mice, and then number 8 rounds out tonight's 29 truck lineup.
29 trucks on this track, Jeremy. This is going to be a good race. Like we said, this is a driver's track. You're going to see a lot of good racing here. Even as flat as what it is, there's going to be a lot of good side-by-side racing. You're going to see a driver setting up passes, going into the corner, coming off the corner. This track here, since it has been incorporated into the primary actual NASCAR schedules in real life, has not disappointed. It has always put on a great show. I mean, unless you're talking the time where the entire lights went out at the track where technology is supposed to be the prime time. Other than that, it has not disappointed.
What if it was intentional? What if they showed off, what their lights can do? I don't know if that's a selling point, but either way, I'm just trying to defend them. But yeah, it's going to be a good one. You mentioned it kind of gets you set up for the week, right? Because the trucks will be here typically on a Friday or a Saturday, so just a couple days after FTSR visits them with the truck series. So kind of gives you a little bit of a warm-up before the actual guys do it in the NASCAR series. But they're off of turn 4. Pace car is down. Waiting for Cody McKinney to take the green flag to start off race number 2 in the 2023 B season. Green flag officially out. Cody with a decent launch over Bobby Terrell as they head off into turn 1, Dustin.
Yeah, turn 1, you see everybody still side by side all the way back, and you're going to see a lot of that as the racing again. You're going to get those runs off the corner. You see McKinney finally clear Bobby Terrell. Those two are now lined up nose to tail, but they are still double file about 8 to 10, 12 rows back, Jeremy.
Excellent camera angle there down the backstretch. Just saw everybody exit off turn 2. A couple guys got a little wobbly, like that guy on your screen, the 08 of Sylvain Jolly, who gets passed up by the number 5 of Hollingsworth there off the corner, exit 4. And now we got the number 48 here of Curtis Vollmer, who was actually trying to get an EOL after his qualifying run. It did not get granted that, so he's going to be currently sitting in your 5th place. Top 5 single filed out. Looks like Richie Coy's on the inside there of the number 00 Tyler Brown, trying to take over 6th.
Yeah, trying to take over the 6th place. He will take that, and that's where you're going to see a lot of the passing take place, Jeremy, is you're going to see if they can get enough of a nose on the inside, you're going to see them overtake entering the corner, or it's going to be center off. You're going to see him finish and complete the pass exiting the corner. Otherwise, everything else in between is it's going to be hard-fought battles. Right now, though, I mean, you see that camera shot, your top 10 are all single file right now. You don't get a race until you get about all the way back there right around that 29 of Schaefer, who is side by side right now with the 81. Remember, last week the 81 put on one heck of a run in the trucks as well. So look to see exactly what the driver, that 81, the Granat, can actually accomplish here, Jeremy, on a completely different track layout.
Yeah, Tyler Granat. I think that's pronounced Granot on the running order, which I think he corrected me at Granat from last week's podium finish, because he did finish in second place. Doing pretty good. That was your battle for 10th. There's Tommy Schaefer now. Ooh, we got some trucks moving left and right here on the back. Didn't see if it was just a position change or some guy got contact, not sure, but looks like they're so good. That's an 18 of Joseph McKinney. Looked like he was the one that did made the crossover move there. They're side by side pretty good back here, Dustin, battling for 10th through 15th.
Yeah, that what had happened was I've been watching that blue and black number 9 truck there of Johnson. A couple times coming off of the corner, he has gotten a little loose, and I think that's why all the trucks were kind of, veering left and right and everywhere, was he got loose, so they were trying to, not make contact with him. Everybody got by there. Big check up there by the 22 of Milikian getting into the corner. And right now, Jeremy, I'm surprised, though. Ooh, it looked like the 18 of McKinney there, Joseph McKinney, almost had a little tank slap there coming off the wall. So right now, this is where these drivers are going to actually be testing the waters right now with these setups to see exactly what's going on. But, Jeremy, look at this track. Where did the sun go?
Well, deep cloud cover just went between the sun and the track right now, except for turn 3 where it's starting to peek through. But yeah, try to cool off this track temp as much as you can. I do see a little damage there on the 18 of Joseph McKinney too, so I guess he did hit the wall just briefly. See Diane Chapman back in the chat saying go Ryan go. You get to see your hubby on screen here every once in a while when we key him up, so that'd be kind of cool for you to see what he looks like while racing in the sim rig. Got a little side by side here from the 75, that's TJ Bartel. Just on the inside there, the 42, that's Kyle Milliken. One of the only 2 battles on the track right now.
Yeah, side by side right now. These guys have been at it there for about the last couple laps. And I got to ask, Jeremy, is Diane Chapman, is that his mom? I thought it was his mom. I could be wrong, though. I'm
always incorrect, so I'm going to take your word for it. My stat book, my stat book.
Why do you even bring that notebook anymore? Diane will let us know. She'll let us know in the chat. We'll see whose stat book's right. Heck, I mean, we both may be wrong. It might be a sister. Who knows? I don't know.
It's a Funko Pop. It's just a collector on my shelf, It looks great. Does nothing for me.
And they finally, the 75 of TJ Bartel finally clears the 42 of Milliken right now, but Milliken's still all over the back end of that 75. So good hard racing right now, but Jeremy, they're all chasing that man right there, the 28 of Cody McKinney. He is just checking out right now. I mean, his gap, he has just been rolling it now, almost pushing 2 seconds over second place of Bobby Terrell.
And it's really no surprise to me. Just Cody McKinney coming through, and yeah, Diane said it, his mom, so I will stand corrected. Thank you. Appreciate that info. But it's no surprise when you see Cody McKinney up front. This team, McKinney Racing, since joining FTSR in the truck series, has just same thing with RPM Motorsports in the Cup. They're just progressively getting better and better each time we see them, especially the 28 in particular. Joseph McKinney always finds himself right around the top 10 for the most part, week in and week out. But this 28, Cody McKinney, just setting the rails kind of like Jeff Chandler does in the Cup right now with his team. So right now we've seen a huge gap, which Bobby Terrell, when he's fast, right? And so if it wasn't for this newcomer, Bobby Terrell is really setting the pace. But there is, 15 to 20 truck links between the 28 and the 4. And I failed to mention at the pre-race, there is only 30 laps on this short stint for stage 1. And then we're going to take it off of the last 90 or so laps for stage 2. So this is basically, like you said, just a warm-up, a little precursor to what's to come on stage 2. Use up what you can, abuse the tires, feel out exactly how the tire wear looks. As you see Ryan Chapman going through 3 and now 4 on exit. Pretty stable truck so far through 4.
Yeah, he's looking pretty stable right there. You do see that they do utilize the gears going through here as well. So you see him, he's going to catch that third gear. He's going to drift it, go through, and then as he's coming off and those RPMs rise, a little loose on it, he's going to catch that fourth gear. So trying to maximize the most amount, and this is another reason why we love bringing the drivers in on this. You see different aspects of how they race, what it's like in there. Yeah, we get to sit in air-conditioned houses, and we don't have to sit in hot 120-degree cockpits. But trust me, these drivers, they're still getting a workout.
Looks like he's running sequential, and he's got an extended shifter there. I'm not sure if you know what that looks like, or what product that is, but looks like he's just tapping it in the third, tapping it back down in the fourth. His steering wheel is back to the center. And here we go. First caution presented by Roasted Gems Coffee on the circuit on lap 13. Looks like it's in turn 1. Joseph McKinney in the 18 got some rear end damage here, as he initially had a self spin going through the entrance of the corner.
Yeah, as you see, he's going to go into the corner right here. Oh, he had a little bit of help, though, from the 9 of Johnson. Gave him just a little bit. And Jeremy, we had talked about this in pre-race, that is one of the hardest areas at this track because it's a flat track. You don't have as much banking to try to slow you down. And if the driver in front of you brakes or lets off a little bit more than you do, it's hard to try to judge their braking point to stay on top of that. So, again, unfortunate turn of events there for the number 18 of Joseph McKinney. Here's another onboard shot right now. You see he went to get on the gas and then had to roll off a little bit. The 9 just didn't check up enough on that roll off. And, the 2 of Duranco. So close on that one.
Yeah, I'm kind of watching multiple angles, and the 18 definitely slowed up more than probably the 9 had expected, but at the same time, the 9 had such a great amount of speed. Running the banking transition, Destin, he was up on that second groove, a little bit more banking, was able to carry speed a little bit more, and yeah, just any kind of checkup from the 18 whatsoever, and those guys are going to meet with how close they're running there. So that's sent him around some slight rear end damage. That's okay. This is Gateway. You're not doing 170, 180 miles an hour. Treat this kind of like a short track / intermediate, kind of like how you would, maybe a Nashville super speedway or even a Phoenix, where it's just, you don't carry great speeds here. So I think he's going to be okay.
Yeah, and that's, like I said, on those couple angles that we did have and that we did hit, it looked like he was rolling back in the throttle, and maybe something didn't feel right on that truck when he was rolling back in the throttle, so he had to roll back off of it again because it did look like he sped up and then slowed down a little bit more, and the 9 it didn't have the reaction time to stay out of there, and just had, like you said, had that banking speed rolling down the banking there, what little bit of banking there is here, and just tagged him. But like you said, I mean, you can have, this is ran like a short track. You can have some damage on these trucks, and for next Monday, the cars as well, and still be okay. It runs like a short track. I mean, how many cars have we seen, Jeremy, at Bristol that are just beat all to hell? There's not a clean spot on them, and they're still competitive. So this runs very similar.
Yeah, absolutely. And this basically, Dustin, this cuts off the halfway point of stage 1, right? So they had a nice little 13 lap run. When they go back to green flag here this coming lap, they're going to have 15 laps to kind of settle this thing out, or 14 rather. So right down the middle on this stage, so 15 lap sprint. These guys have 3 total sets of tires. You got 2 in the pits, 1 on the truck. So I didn't see who all pitted and who took tires, but if you pit now for tires and pit again on lap 30, you're kind of sitting dry for the rest of the race. So I'm kind of curious of who took the strategy and who's going to move forward for stage end.
Yeah, and my thing, like I said, we always try to do this, and it's easy for us to do it, folks, because hey, we're up in the booth, we're calling it. I think I would try to save tires as much as possible. I probably would not come into pit until at least after the end of the first stage. So, but like I said, we have been proven wrong on some of these strategies before, and would not surprise me if it happens again. Only time's going to tell, but we're not going to know for about another 104 laps is what we have left on distance here. We get back going to green, Jeremy. Green flag waves right now. Decent, solid start there. No tire spin from the 28. Almost looks like he caught the 4 sleeping there a little bit as he jumps back up. That's very typical as once that high line is clear to get that arc going into the corners. But right now, Cody McKinney leading the way. Bobby Terrell falling back into second, and now they are double file for about 12 rows deep, Jeremy.
You can see on the outside of 1 and 2 just does not work. Bobby Terrell was right at the back bumper of the 28. Overshot the line that he was wanting to do. Shot up to the third groove, fourth groove area. And it really got tight. He had to check up and it allowed about probably 4 truck lengths between the 28 and the 4. Now the 28's got that fresh air on his nose. Not too much pressure on the rear side here. Cody McKinney running up to the second groove there, which is probably going to be preferred, especially on these long runs. Right now, Bobby's searching, trying to find any speed here on this little short stint before we get to that stage in.
Yeah, and while you were watching that, I was watching this battle back here right now between Sylvain Jolly, Hollinsworth, and Richie Coy. Richie Coy there for a moment, I was almost questioning life there for a second because it almost looked like he was about ready to push it 3 wide going through the corners, which would be just absolutely insane at this track, but would not surprise me, because these drivers definitely have the skill to be able to do that. But right now, Jeremy, this seems like where it's hot. All these drivers right here are all going for it. And you see all the way back there, starting with Sherwood, they're 2, almost looking to try to push it 3 wide in a couple spots.
Yeah, still hot. 123 on the surface, has not cooled down an ounce. And the number 5, Hollingsworth, got really loose right in front of Richie as you were talking about him last lap there off of turn 2. Right now we're looking at the 42 of Milliken and the 33 of Sherwood Williford. Williford trying to make some passes on the bottom. It's just difficult. Your truck has to be hooked up, hit the line just right, and to make that pass. But right now, focusing now on the 23 of Hannah. He started 20th. He's got some ground to make up. He's passed a few trucks, but he's trying to get into the stage point system where you got to be in the top 10.
Yeah, and he's been battling right now with the 22 of Milikian here now for a number of laps. He can get the run on the inside, but just can't finish the job on corner exit. This one here looks like his best bet. He's going to have the preferred line going in, and right there you do see him prevail on the entrance there as Milikian backs off, gives that to him so that Robert can drop down to that low line. So again, right now, a lot of give and take, which is very good for these drivers because, Jeremy, we're still got 9 laps before we actually hit the end of the first stage right now. And then after that, we're still at 80 laps left, 90 laps before we try to crown a winner of this event.
Yeah, it's going to be a pretty enduring race with how the track temperature is right now. Just continue to be blistering hot. And we saw, actually, I did the 99 of J.P. Burns hit the wall for 4, lost the position to the number 5 of Hollingsworth, loses it down to the 29 of Tommy Schaefer. And now he's in the front side of the 27, Ryan Chapman here, as Ryan's going to follow suit through 3 and 4. 99 of Burns running a little bit lower than more drivers than not, I've noticed so far. Through the 22 circuits around this place, is the 99 still loose off of 4. This time around, he's wanting this caution to come up.
Yeah, some of these guys probably want to get to pit road, maybe not so much for tires, but for adjustments. Pit road adjustments, they're probably wanting that pretty bad. I'm watching this battle right now between Chapman in the 27 and the 81 of Granat, because these guys have been duking it out. Chapman was actually running about a lane higher than Granat. But Chapman was able to hold him back. You see Granat and that 81 go back down to the inside and that DeWalt Ford F-150. And we'll see if the 27 can hold off. This is where the 27 of Chapman was very, very strong. But right now, this is going to be the best bet that the 81 actually has to make this pass happen. And it looks like he does.
I was thinking he had the preferred lane and he turned down just a little too low according to what I was going to have him try to do. I was going to try to keep him like in the second or third groove in my head, but he went down a little low, had to check up, or else he was going to make contact with the 81's back bumper, and now he's going to definitely fall suit behind Tyler Granat. As now we got Kyle Milliken in the 42 all over the rear end here. That's a battle now for 10.
Yeah, so still holding strong right now in the top 10. He is down. He qualified 8th. He is down 2 spots, that being Ryan Chapman, but again, right now, as we see a good battle between... Oh, we got a caution. That happened. I was just getting ready to say we had a good battle between the 5 of Hollinsworth and the 29 of Schaefer. And guess where the Roasted Gems caution flag came out, Jeremy? The battle between the 29 of Schaefer and the 5 of Hollinsworth.
Now, you're going to see on board here the 5 just 29 slides up. It almost looked like he gassed it up, and or that I forgot the telemetry because the 5 was clean through 1 clearly, and they get to the center of 1 and 2, then all of a sudden there's just a huge speed difference out of the ordinary. 29 just driving up the track at the same time, carrying the excess speed. So I didn't see anything on track previous to that, but that looks kind of curious.
Yeah, that one there almost looked very reminiscent to what happened with the 18 of Joseph McKinney, though. I don't know if maybe it's because if you remember, the 18 had a slow spot there as well, right there at the apex, almost like the truck was drifting up too high, so they had to roll out of the throttle a little bit more in order to make that, get those front tires to actually grip it. And it looked like maybe the 29 just was not ready for that one there. Head Nerd in Charge says, just got him right on the corner. Yeah, just a little bit of tappy tap there on the little assy ass, and around she went.
Yeah, I was really trying to look at the telemetry here on the 5, and didn't look like there was any weird excess speed difference. I'm kind of looking over the 29s now, and no, I didn't see any actual throttle up, so I guess it was just a difference of how fast you could take the corner. And this is where the tires are starting to wear. And if you're saving the tires, which, by the way, if we're looking at the 22, Michael Blackner, currently going to be starting this race, P1. I was actually questioning whether a lot of the drivers would pit now, because with stage end, with 2 laps prior, pit road closes, right? But we have a caution within 5 laps of this thing being finishing out at stage end. So why not come down now, get the tires, and get yourself set up for stage 2 early?
Yeah, right now, though, Blackner is still on the same set that he started with. Johnson and that 9 machine, who was the only other truck that stayed out. Everybody else came to the service of their crews down pit row. Johnson pitted back 12 laps ago right now. So he has fresher tires than some of these other drivers.
This is great for Michael Blackner. It's an excellent call. Started 26th, going to be starting in first. If he can finish in the top 10, which he has to only run, 2 or 3 laps under green, he's going to get stage points, which he was not going to get if he was going to restart where he was prior. So excellent call by the team to keep him out, get his tires, and fall right back to where he was after the restart. Not this one, but the next one. That's a great call.
Yeah, it really is. And that just goes to show that these drivers, they're always points racing. So, I mean, you would much rather try to get the extra points and knowing that you maximize the most amount of points that you could in a race. And this is an excellent call. I mean, there's still enough time, even with this strategy. Jeremy, there's going to be more cautions. It's just the nature of this track and how it is. And they're probably going to be very similar to the ones that we've already seen. We're right now under our second Roasted Gems caution flag. So, excellent call. Going to get him some stage points. He still has enough time to get back on the same, pit strategy. Still the same set of tires. I mean, he may be the biggest gainer on this one just with this call right here. His pace car is in. We're getting ready to go back green flag. There's that green flag. We are back racing right now. The 28 of Cody McKinney has an excellent restart. Expect him to jump up just like that to take that entry. Blackner holding on strong, though. Again, remember, he's still on the original set 3 wide racing right now. As it come off, they hold it, though, which is not an easy feat here at this track, Jeremy.
Not a gateway, man. I was holding on to my seat, and thankfully nothing came about that. A little sketchy there, but Michael Blackner is dropping back fast. I know it's only a couple laps, and I think he's going to fall outside this top 10 at this rate here as they're coming up to the white flag for stage in. Michael Blackner crossing the line this time in P8, so he needs to hold on to 2 more spots. Right now, the 42 of Kyle Milliken looking to easily take that over with the 23 of Brody Hanna, so strategy is not going to pay off as far as getting the points. It was a great effort, though. Cody McKinney coming through 3 and 4 here for the final time on stage 1. Got a 2 truck length advantage over Bobby Terrell. These two have just been untouchable as far as 28 and the 4 combined off of 4. McKinney going to win stage.
Yeah, it's like I said, it was a heck of an attempt to try to do that. Almost had it too. He is going to end stage in 13th there. He probably could have taken a defensive route on that one there and held that position.
I'm gonna have to cut you off here. There's still a green flag. I went on the website right before this race and it said stage end on lap 30. So it's been correct all the way up until this point. I think we're still going green. So you know what? All that stuff we just talked about, I guess we're gonna throw it out the window. We're on lap 32 now. And now I have no idea when the stage is going to end, so we're all going to find this out live here. But regardless, the 28 and the 4 are probably going to be locked into the top 2.
Oh, yeah. Whenever that stage break happens, we at this point in time, it's surprise! So we're just going to have to, if we see a Roasted Gems caution flag, we're just going to have to check and make sure that there's no wrecks or incidents on the track and try to determine if it's the actual stage break. So stage break should be coming at any moment, at any lap. It'll be a surprise. But right now, good battle right now for third. The 19 of Richie Coy and that Jersey Mike Subs trying to get that run on the inside does pass the 08 of Sylvain Jolly. So again, look at that stretch though, Jeremy. I mean, almost everybody single file, just a couple trucks peeking out to make a pass, and that's how the racing is here. It's pretty much follow the leader until you get that run, and then you do a peek out, you make that pass or make an attempt at it, and then pull right back in line again.
Yeah, it's a very old school style track, and the fact that it's a lot of follow the leader type scenarios. You want to set the guy up, try to make him have a mistake, or just kind of wait and abide your time, save your tires, do what you got to do to get around the guy. And it's really tough to pass here overall, especially in 1 and 2 with that banking help higher on the upper lane. You're seeing a big gap in front of these trucks, but right now behind the 81 of Granat, just a huge train of trucks waiting to have those mistakes happen and get some runs off the corner. The 29 and 23 side by side coming to the line that time, edged out by the 23. Tommy Schaefer, he got a little bit of damage. I don't know if you noticed on the back of that truck. That was from contact right before the green flag on this last restart here. But we're on board with the 27 of Ryan Chapman. Yeah, I figured,
you know what? Ryan Chapman put himself right in the middle of this. He's right now trying to chase down the 29 of Schaefer. He's got the 75 of TJ Bartel on the inside. Had been doing an excellent job keeping Bartel right there by his side, going side by side, but finally gives it up there as they're finally straightening it out, Jeremy. But like I said, we had stated it before, the 27 of Chapman looks like he's got a very comfortable truck right now. Easing it into the corner. Doesn't look like he's working that wheel a whole lot. Little loose on the bobble on the way out, but that's to be expected, especially at this track. And that transition from the banking to the super flat straightaways that they have here. So good battling right back here, Jeremy.
Yeah, a lot of trucks now side by side, so maybe lap 40 stage in, I don't know. But yeah, it's very common for turn 2 to get a little loose off corner X, especially coming from the bottom lane. That transition you talked about will kick you out for sure. 2 trucks still not having any issues with top 2. Richie Coy, though, has made up some ground dust, and he's up to the highest position he's found himself all race long. P3, and now on the charge of his teammate in the 4, Bobby Terrell.
Yeah, it definitely looks like that whatever changes that Richie Coy has made has definitely helped him, especially on the short run right now. We know that the 19 crew and the Fury Motorsports guys, they always bring an excellent long run set as well. And I don't know what it is, but Richie Coy knows how to conserve and save his equipment there for the long run, but somebody else knows how to do that. 2 drivers that are in front of him right now, Bobby Terrell and Cody McKinney, they have both done that and both seen victory in doing so.
Yeah, 100%. Very good at it. One of the best here at FTSR when it comes to that. And right now we're focusing back a little bit through the field. The 33 of Williford currently running 13th behind the 27 of Chapman, in front of the 23 of Hannah. 33 Williford sees the gap under the 27, tries to make the pass, but Ryan Chapman with an excellent drive off the 4, even though he got loose, still able to maintain that spot. They go back single file to 1.
Yeah, single file again. Like I said, it looked like about the last lap right back here. A couple trucks got a little squirrely coming off of turn 2, and we had talked about that transition kind of gets you sometimes. And you kind of know when somebody does that because you just see trucks just sprawl all over the place coming off of turn 2, just trying to get out of the way and trying to get past it. So that's going to be a common sight here, just like a common sight. You're going to see trucks probably tag the turn 2 wall, more so tail tank slap it. That's going to be a common practice as well. You're going to see that quite a bit. Going to the chats, Zach Wapples says, "Let's go, Ryan." Obviously talking about Ryan Chapman in that 27, currently running P12.
Yeah, doing a pretty good job overall, and he's got the fan base there, so let's see if that carries him into the top 10 and maybe even crack the top 5. I don't know. He usually finds his way toward into the race. Never count out the 27.
Mr. Where Did He Come From, as Jeremy has nicknamed him.
Hate taking names from actual drivers, but at the same time,
it's fitting, though. It is fitting.
Yeah, every single time, I'm like, he's done, and then I look up, I'm like, oh, okay, he's in the top 10 all of us. Oh, he's in the top 5. That's strange.
Yeah, and like I said, I'm the same way. I like coming up with unique nicknames, but it's fitting when it comes to Chapman. Just like I don't like taking nicknames from wrestlers, but the Heartbreak Kid when it comes to Robert Milikian is the same way. That guy he's got a lot of skill, but just he's got luck like I do, which is almost non-existent, and it usually turns bad pretty fast. So sometimes those nicknames, those well-established nicknames, they're fitting.
I mean, I wouldn't call your luck next to 0, but it's pretty low. I'm just kidding.
It's okay. It's not next to 0. I mean, it's a little higher than that. It's like -3 or something.
Oh, it's higher, but it's okay. It's a little bipolar number there. -3 is a higher number than 0. You're learning it first here. But Richie Coy is actually, since we're chatting right there, pulled out to a half a second over his teammate Bobby Terrell. So Bobby's actually having some long run woes here. Was kind of curious because we don't know when this stage break. I'm gonna guess now that 50, but he might drop a few more spots. Sylvain Jolly doing an excellent job here, maintaining inside the top 5. It looks like he has a faster truck than the 4, so the 08 might put himself in podium spot here early.
Yeah, and Sylvain Jolly's always been one that has been a very decent long run driver as well. So it doesn't surprise me. It is surprising about the 4 Bobby Terrell. Definitely looks like he is having some setup woes right now. That truck just not handling to his liking. So Head Nerd in Charge does, this is going based off of the luck comment, Jeremy. She did state that BTW, you did win over the weekend, talking about my late model win on Friday. So she's not wrong. So I guess my luck isn't completely garbage. So it's just it's clean-ish garbage. There you go. We'll go with that.
I'm gonna defend both of you guys. You have to have a lot of skill in a late model race to win the thing, not so much luck. But at the same time, if multiple people wreck, of course, it takes some luck to get around the wreck. So I'll give you both the W on that one there. Well said. Ooh, Brody Hanna in the back there. I don't know if you caught that. He was all over the place off corner wrecks. It gets the thing straightened out. But man, that was a wicked save there.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, I'm thinking that was the truck because with that camera angle, we just see glimpses of the hood. That about 3-4 laps ago when we went back to this battle back here, I'm pretty sure it was his truck that got loose off the corner there as well. So right as it sits right now, he has been hovering right around that 14th, 15th place in the running order right now. Has been struggling to try to move up. So possibly ill-handling truck for the 23 of Brody Hanna. As you see a couple more trucks kind of go wide. That was the 29 of Schaefer and the 33 of Williford.
Yeah, right now, that time around turn 2, the truck looked way more stable, so he made whatever change he needed to for that corner exit, and it looked a lot cleaner here. This is very typical for Gateway. When the long run sets in, there is not a ton of side-by-side racing, and the track has kind of spaced out. If you pull up the track map right now, presented by iRacing iFlag. The top 15 or 20 are crowding, from turn 3 to turn 2. And you see a lot of stragglers. And right now, you got a truck entering turn 1 at the same time our leaders are coming off of 4. So you can see that the track is almost completely covered in just a short amount of time here.
Yeah, and that's the downside to short track racing, is there's not a lot of track surface. So when you get long green flag runs like this, that track quickly becomes filled up with cars, and then what happens is, if we have that stage break at lap 50, which I'd have to agree with you, Jeremy, that seems like a pretty solid estimation on the actual lap when the stage break will happen. Once we get done with that stage break, if we have long green flag runs and green flag pit stops, you're going to see these drivers have to deal with lap traffic as well, because eventually they're just going to come full circle again. That's one of the struggles that every driver has to deal with when we come to a short track or a track that's driven like a short track.
Yeah, 100% there, and we're approaching lap 50. I've not seen the sign to close pit road yet, so we're still awaiting word on when that stage break will end. But right now, Cody McKinney still has that locked up by a 2-second lead. You're looking at Colton here. They're in the 48, or Curtis Vollmer, newcomer to FTSR in 2023. Doing a pretty good job holding his pace right now. Started 5th, currently in 8th, just kind of maintaining here. But I think, Dustin, we're going to kick it over to picture-in-picture commercial break and gear up for this stage end whenever it does come up.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
And back to full screen coverage here as we are now approaching lap 58 of scheduled 120, so just shy of the halfway point. And Dustin and I were actually having a little chit chat about the stage break there. And I know from last season, 2023A, they had mentioned, because it's new to FTSR is new to stages. And so we're like, okay, is it going to be stage break maybe at that caution on lap 25? And I was like, no, I can't be it. So I think at this point, we're going to consider that stage done and out of the way because we're approaching halfway. Cody McKinney has extended his lead each and every single lap, this time 3.2 seconds over the 19 of Richie Coy. Bobby Trail still maintains third place as he started to pull back away from the number 08 of Sylvain Jolly. And just a quick mention that Colton Gum, one of our starters tonight, did back out just a handful of laps to go, so that number 10 has dropped out of the race. So 3 trucks out in total, only 1 truck 1 lap down. That's the number 9 of Marshall Johnson. Everybody else right now momentarily still on the lead lap.
Yeah, still on the lead lap right now, and I mean pretty spaced out. About some of the closest battles we have is right on your screen right now between the 00 Tyler Brown and the 81 of Granat. These two have been almost nose to tail for about the last 2 laps, and right now the 81 of Granat on the inside, little drift up. Ooh. Oh no! Contact made. Both drivers save it though. Nice wheel job there by the 00 Tyler Brown to keep that truck underneath him.
I thought he was headed right for the outside wall and doing it real quickly. As the 48 there just really shoves wide there. That being Volmer. But, you know, back to the corner panel here, the 81 of Granat is just so much faster than Tyler Brown. It looks like he just has to make the move, and it is difficult to pass here. But I thought that 00 was done for. But, yeah, like you said, excellent driving there from Tyler Brown.
Yeah, that's not, to put it in perspective, it is not easy to keep these trucks going straight, especially when they are sideways like that. Oh man, was that Chapman? That was Chapman there that got wicked loose there coming off of turn 2, was able to save it. But back to my point was, it's not easy when these trucks start sliding like that. It factor it in like almost how it is if you would drive your car on ice. If you go to turn, you have no traction, so if you get on the gas, all your tires do is spin. If you get on the brake, all they do is lock up and slide. It's not easy keeping them straight. So for these drivers to keep them going, that's no minor feat at all.
Now you see the 5 there of Hollingsworth. He's getting tail happy off of turn 2. It is so loose right now for a lot of these guys. There is no rear end grip on this track for any part of it, especially on corner exit. And these are trucks, right? So there's no weight to the back in comparison to most other vehicles on the sim. The only thing providing weight is that spoiler in the back. But so when you're able, you can't even drive it yourself off corner exit, and then you get assistance like that and still able to maintain it. That's a job well done. But we are now a little bit over halfway point here as the 5 still gets loose as you're focused in on the 00 here in the 81. When do these guys, Dustin, come down for pit road? We had a couple early cautions. They had their pit stop or 2, depending on what kind of strategy you were doing. And you see right now, it's the longest run on these set of tires for everybody. When did they start coming down?
Yeah, so right now they're on a 36 lap stint right now. So side by side, man, these drivers here, they've been duking it out in the 48 there. Volmer just waiting for these guys to figure out who's going to pass who. I would have to say that in the next 20 laps, 15 to 20 laps, these drivers are probably going to be wanting to hit pit road. because right now their tires are screaming at them. You see the 48 of Vollmer there. Of course, he had to wheel it down to stay out of the 00, but there is no rear end grip on these trucks right now, and that's why these drivers are struggling as much as what they are. I mean, we've seen the 27 get, tail happy. We've seen the 00. He had a little bit of help. That one there, he didn't have a little bit of help. But I mean, we're seeing these trucks get more and more tail happy. You got to shout out to the head nerd in charge, though, as we're focused in on Tyler Brown here in that Roasted Gems truck. She goes, Roasted Gems, best coffee ever.
She is active on the chats right now, and I'm going to have to agree. That's some awesome flavored stuff. And you're watching that. I love that you are watching that action on the track, but the 14 of Lane Allen on lap 62 off of turn 4 got loose, and he's pitting early. He destroyed the inside of that truck there, all across from the bumper to the rear. Just slammed the inside wall and kept it going straight. Obviously no caution, but that's going to bring him down for an early pit stop here. Maybe it'll keep people to make that pit stop for the final green flag one. But oh, there it is. Yep, you got the number 22. Is that Michael? Yeah, Michael Blackner.
Yep.
He's the only guy to stay out from that last caution flag. So no surprise to see him coming down as one of the first trucks.
Yeah, so again, those drivers stretched it out a little bit more. All the rest of these drivers, they have a little bit more that they can push it right now. And like I said, I mean, as far as stint-wise, I mean, they're pushing almost lap 40. I would say probably about lap 70 to 75. I would expect to start seeing some of these lead trucks peeling down pit road to come to the service because they're going to be screaming for some fresh sneakers on these trucks.
Yeah, absolutely. And the sun is back out now. Cloud coverage momentarily gone. Track's still at 122 degrees. And on top of that, you got 50 laps on these set of tires. That's why you're seeing a lot of trucks just ill handling, which is also why I was kind of surprised that the 81, the 00, the 27, they were all running side by side, not making basically any contact with one another. Doing a hell of a job holding on to these trucks, just waiting to come down pit road.
Yeah, and like I said, you're going to see completely different trucks, but the crazy thing is if we have green flag, the 42 at Milliken loose off the corner. That's what you're seeing, trucks just loose all over. These drivers are doing everything they can to hold on to them, and they're doing a fantastic job because there has been at least probably about 6 near misses that could have easily brought out a Roasted Gems caution, Jeremy.
Yeah, 100%. These guys are doing a great job. And I think we're actually seeing the 33 of Williford. I heard something on the radio. We might see him come down pit road. We'll have to see here going through 3 and 4. No, actually, that's the pit road access right below him, so never mind.
At least not this time.
At any point in time. Yeah, at least not this time. Maybe it was just waving on the drivers to clear that inside out. But they're on now lap 70 or 69 rather. So that's 52 laps to go in this event. And they've ran 50 laps on these set of tires. So we know they're at their extent. They can make the pit stop, make it to the green, or to the checker flag rather. So who on this lead lap is going to make that first stop?
And that's going to be the $10 million question right now, is who is going to make the first one. We've talked about it before. The sooner you get those fresh tires on, the faster laps you pull, the more time you gain on the track, the longer you stay out. After that first initial green flag pit stop from the lead trucks takes place, the more time you lose. Now, here's the kicker, though, Jeremy. We are on a smaller track than what we have ran on prior, which means that, hey, if you go into pit, there's a chance that you are going to go a lap down, which means if the caution comes out prior to that, it is going to really jumble up the standings in the running order. So once green flag pit stops start happening, these drivers are going to be holding their breath, just hoping that they go all the way through and not throw anything awry.
Yeah, and you really have to, because at that point it is out of your control. You've done what you could. You had to get the tires, trying to play a little strategy, and then you just gotta hope that nobody brings out a caution. Which right now we've seen a lot of contact, but we've not seen any wrecks really after the first 10, 12 laps, whatever that second caution came out on.
Look at that track map.
22, yeah. Scattered everywhere like a bunch of ants just crawling everywhere.
And it is, and that's what gets worrisome is because right now, as you see the 22 on fresh tires, makes easy work of the 28. And we know the 28 of Cody McKinney is fast. He's been out front leading this thing almost essentially since the drop of the green flag. So we know he's fast, but that's where it starts getting worrisome as you have a mixture of drivers on old tires trying to stretch it out as far as they can, drivers with new tires. And Jeremy, I've been there myself, new tires like that, you go into a corner, who do you feel like? You feel like Superman. You can do anything, and that's where accidents can happen.
Who's not feeling like Superman is the 23 Brody Hanna just off of turn 2 this lap. Hit the outside wall pretty good,
Ooh.
had a little bit of wall glue, and it really slowed him up. You see the scrapes all down the right-hand side of the 23. Continued to struggle this time around the turn 2 as well. So 23 all of a sudden put himself in a bad predicament.
Yeah, and we've been talking about it. This is not characteristic of Brody Hanna. He definitely seems like he is struggling in tonight's race here, which we typically don't see. I mean, this is as high as we've seen him up in the 12th position. He had, like I said, had been sitting around that 15th position, so he is moving up, just not as fast as we are accustomed to seeing him move up. We're used to him being more competitive on that and up in the top 10. And but like what was stated, Jeremy, this is a driver's track. You know, every driver has the tracks that they excel at, that they love running, and we all have tracks that, you know what, I don't like running this track, but I know the points are involved, so I got to run this track.
Unless you're on slots like the 28 of McKinney is, yeah, it's so tough here. It really is. And this long run is so long. We're seeing the 42 of Kyle Milliken.
Look what lap,
one of your
Jeremy.
First lead lap trucks on lap 75. So we got 45 laps for him to run this thing out, which definitely the shorter of the two green flag runs here.
Yeah, I will share my notebook with you, Jeremy, because apparently my notebook's got the right numbers in it. Your notebook, you cheated off the wrong person. I cheated off KB. So KB always has the right answers. But like I said, 70 to 75. Here we are at 75. We have Milikian in, and Milliken, Diltz is in, Duranko's in, Tori's in. So we have a number of drivers that are hitting it right now. These are scheduled green flag pit stops right now for these drivers. Bartel is also coming down pit road. Now what these drivers are doing, Jeremy, like I said, holding their breath. They want these green flag pit stops to go all the way through, no issues, no cautions, and cycle their way out so that way it doesn't jumble everything up.
And I like what McKinney's doing of staying out as much as he can, get the majority of them to come down pit road, and then he'll make it stop. That's going to lock him into first place with the amount of lead that he had over the 19 here. Still ticking laps down. 18 or the top 17 are now the only guys on the lead lap at this point. So the guys who are making that green flag stop are coming down and going down one lap. Kyle Milliken is the example right now. Came out. He's like a lap and a half back of your race leader.
Yeah, and that's exactly what coming down pit road, that's what it does, is it's going to put you a lap and a half back behind. That's why a lot of these drivers are holding on for as long as they possibly can before they come down, because they want to make sure that there's not going to be any cautions that come out that's going to lock them at the tail end of the field or a lap down. You know, and I just looked at the Twitch chat. The head nerd in charge stated making claims, Jeremy, that I cheated off her. So apparently my notebook is cheated off the head nerd in charge, which is probably why she's the head nerd in charge. So it makes sense.
Maybe on your side of the fence, she does a great job though, regardless. Keeps the motivation up, and love to have her part of the team. As you're seeing the 08 Sylvain Jolly, he's coming down pit road. Looks like someone else behind him as well. So another set of trucks. Okay, Curtis Vollmer, 48. He was one of your top 5 trucks. I think he pitted back just outside the top 5, maybe 6th or 7th there. See the 29 Tommy Schaefer. He's coming down to the service of his crew. I don't expect him to get that rear end damage fixed. It hasn't really cost him any issues, so I want to get that repaired up. The 81 Granat Tyler, he's going to give up 4th place. He's also going to come down hit pit road.
Ooh, little bit of a hairy situation there, as the 27 of Chapman found himself in between the 99 of Burns and the 5 of Hollinsworth. Hollinsworth on fresher tires. But that was a little bit of a hairy situation there, 3 wide. That's twice now, Jeremy, we have seen 3 wide. More trucks down pit road. Bobby Terrell down pit road. The 81 of Granat down pit road. Tyler Brown, Gassion down pit road. And Brannigan down pit road right now. So a number of drivers. And here comes your race leader, Cody McKinney down pit road. That is leaving Fury Motorsports of Richie Coy and Brody Hanna out there. That's why they are going to be marked P1. And once Brody catches up and passes Cody McKinney on pit road, that'll put those two at P1 and P2 right now, but they still need to come to the service of their crew, and it looks like here comes the 19 of Richie Coy.
I just remembered on the pre-race show, right before we kicked it over to qualifying, I was like, who's going to beat Nicholas Casey, who led 68 laps here last year? And then I noticed that Cody McKinney's already got 80 laps led tonight, so already toppling that, and we have, 40 laps to go. So once this thing cycles out, McKinney might as well, or very well could, cross the triple-digit mark here tonight with this performance.
Yeah, he has definitely been leading the way right now. Definitely showed up with a piece to take it all if he possibly can. So we're still cycling through. Brody Hanna still leading the way right now, still staying out. At this point, everybody else has come down to the service of their crew. He is going to have to come in at this point in time. Himself and Joseph McKinney definitely going to need to come in at this point because, like I said, they're not going to last long once these drivers catch back up, Jeremy.
This is a great call by Brody Hanna. This is the only time to get his stage, or at least a bonus point for the point standings. Leads that lap, so that's going to be your second lead change tonight. And at the same time, the 23 gets stupid loose there, saves it, he touches the grass, gets loose again. This was the same exact time he was calling pit entrance here. He was guaranteed to come down this time, but then he just cost himself a boatload of time there getting loose off the corner.
Yeah, he even locked up the front tires there a little bit once he hit the grass, so he was all out of funk there coming in. He's coming in hot, too. Jeremy, that might have been close. I don't know if he got down to speed or not. I know there's a little bit of a grace speed there coming in, but he was definitely coming in pretty hot.
Yeah, I got him clocked at 53 mile an hour at the yellow cone, yellow line there on pit entrance. I think pit speed here is about 40, if I'm not mistaken. No, 45, so it's about 7 over, 8 over. We'll see what the iRacing officials do with him. They don't hold him. See if they give him a flag here as he's on pit exit. But you're looking at the 28. Going to be rotating back as your race leader. 4.5 seconds now over second place, Richie Coy.
Yeah, so he extended out that lead right now. We are watching the 23 of Brody Hanna right now making his pit exit. We will see if they tag him for speeding or if he was the recipient of a very gracious iRacing race marshal. And it looks like he was granted on that one, Jeremy, so he's not coming in. So possibly a very nice race marshal for tonight's events here at Worldwide Technology Raceway, the simulated version.
Yeah, if you can get your speed down quick enough, iRacing typically leans in your favor. And as you were talking about that, I reacted. You here might have heard me override you for a moment. But the 28 of McKinney was trying to pass Justin Diltz on the 91 on the inside, entering turn 1, and crowded him. Made contact. McKinney almost wrecked. So did the 91. He almost wrecked, but they were able to not do so. They kept it straight, but it caused a little damage on the 28's right side.
Yeah, a little bit of scuff there. You see it there on the passenger side of the 28. But like what we said, Jeremy, here's the thing when it comes to the damage here. As long as it's bodywork like that, you're still going to be fine. But we talked about it before. We have been under green flag since the caution flag took place. Oh, the 9 hard impact coming off of the turn 2 wall. I mean, he wall slapped that thing hard.
Yeah, it definitely pushed up the right front there. Enough damage for him to come down pit road to the service of his crew to get that thing checked out. You see the scrapes all the way down the side. The right front's pushed in a little bit. An ill handling truck here for the 9.
Yeah, and it doesn't take much, but we talked about it before. We have been, since that caution on lap 20, 25, 26, we have been green flag since then, have not had a caution, no stage break or anything else. So, as we had talked about at some point in time, there's your track map. Like you said, it looks like a bunch of ants all the way around, just going around in circles. And that's what it is. So now your leaders are having to deal with lap traffic right now, trying to figure out a way to maneuver and work their way through the lap traffic. Good thing is right now is Cody needs to just be smart. He's been in this situation before. He's won races before. Just, he doesn't need to rush himself. He's got plenty of space in between himself. Right there you see Richie Coy coming off turn 2 back there in that Jersey Mike's Ford F-150. So he's got space. He's not pressured right now.
Yeah, 100% now, and after pits have cycled through, I think this is a great time to kick it to our second picture-in-picture commercial break. We'll be back with you guys to take you to the final 25 to 30 laps of this event.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
And back to full screen coverage here as we got our eyes focused on the 28 of Cody McKinney, who has made his contact for the second time through 1 and 2, this time on the door panel, the number 2 of Alan Duranco. Just got a little push heavy there on corner bottom entrance, shoved up midway through the corner, made the contact with the 2, but once again able to keep the truck straight, and that's all that matters. It did cost him a few tenths of a second. Richie Coy is slowly chipping away at this lead. 4.7 seconds was the separation when they came off of pit road after cycled through. Now it's down to 3.5. So just over a second advantage gained here as we got 24 laps to go in this event, Dustin.
Yeah, a second and a half gain since coming off of pit road, but Jeremy, there's 24 laps left, so it was we'll call it 40 laps left when everybody started coming in, because it was right around that 45 left to 40 left. So you're looking at in 20 laps only chipped a second and a half off. I mean, he's going to have to start chipping a whole lot more as we see the Tua Durango take it way wide on that one. Don't know if that was unintentional or if he knew that Richie Coy was coming and wanted to give him plenty of room. But yeah, fact of the matter is, if Richie's wanting to get up there and challenge for that lead, he's going to have to chip off more than that.
Yeah, 100% here. And I'd like to give a shout out to one of our partners that doesn't have a commercial slide for us. That's going to be Sim Racing Points. It's your all-inclusive league points management system. It allows you to completely track everything you're doing within the league and all the racing stats. So if you want to, beautifully display points, penalties, finishes, results from years past, if you have all the data, it keeps everything in a really professionally built format for full page layouts, for widgets, from big to small, all over the page, whatever you want. These people got your back. So if you want to head over to simracingpoints.com, check out their pricing plans, see what it costs to make your league look professional. And if you want to see an active, live working site, well, head over to this league that you're watching, FTSR.net. They utilize this software to its fullest extent, so you can see everything, which it makes broadcasting so easy, Dustin, with all the different tabs and everything of that nature. If I want a stat from 2 years ago, boom, I'm there in 3 seconds, right? It's just such a beautiful thing. So once again, you're going to find them at simracingpoints.com.
And it is, Jeremy. I mean, it's an excellent addition to it. It makes our job even easier, and it really allows the drivers to immerse themselves into as close to the real thing as what they possibly can. I mean, they already have the cockpits at home. They got the steering wheels. They got the H pattern shifters, or if you're, Ryan Chapman, the sequential shifters. You got the higher end wheels. It's as we are under a caution here. Wow. Okay. That's what was that, Blackner? Yeah, Blackner's sitting up there at the top of the corner there. See what happened there.
Just a nice little hook here from the 91, drives it deep, gets loose, and turns the wheel right, and just leans the 22 up into the outside wall in turn 3. I don't know if that didn't look intentional. I think he just overshot the corner entry. Truck got loose, and you're just taking another look here on the Nerd TV replay. Drives it in deep, just out of the blue, and then got loose accordingly because the truck had just so much speed in that corner.
Yep, and that's exactly what we were talking about could happen. So this kind of changes things up. This closes everybody back up. So that lead that the 28 of Cody McKinney had, gone. Now you're going to have Richie Coy, Bobby Terrell, and a lot of fast, hungry drivers right there ready and waiting. So this is going to be interesting, Jeremy. But to finish my thought again, this Sim Racing Points they got team charters, they got driver contracts. It really puts you into it to go along with all the other stuff you have. So definitely give them a check out. But Jeremy, I would say, seeing as we have not had any chance to do it, this would be a perfect time to see if we can't try to get a hold of our unofficial in-race reporter, Mr. Ryan Chapman.
Yeah, he's currently running 17th here, last guy on the lead lap. So while we're under pit stops here, he's entering pit road now. We're going to wait for him to take his pit stop, Dustin. I think that's going to be fair. We're going to wait for him to hit the jack, get his tires changed, and when he's back on the track and pacing, I think that'd be a great time to do it. But we're going to keep him queued up here as pit stops happen. There's actually a little bit of action going on. There's some contact made in pit lane. It is a really tight squeeze here compared to most other tracks. There's really not much space. 2 lanes, and then boom, your pit box. So There's not much shift. You see right there, the 27 of Chapman had to
Wow.
squeeze the gap there. I'm glad I didn't bring him in because he had to squeeze between looks like the 42 and the 81
Whew.
potentially there. And there's some ghosting there off corner or truck exit of the pit lane. Thankfully, iRacing allows that so you don't make car contact. And there comes the 27 of Chapman exiting pit road. So I think, Dustin, now I think it's going to be a great time to bring him in. I just got to find him here, see if he's available. Mr. Ryan Chapman, this is Jeremy in the Nerd TV booth. You got a copy?
I do, fellas. How are you?
Doing pretty good. Overall, this race hasn't been super eventful, but we have a late race caution here. Any chance for you to move up some positions? Because right now, you got a pretty good field opportunity to kind of like maybe gain a few spots to get yourself top 15 or potentially top 10.
Yeah, it definitely has not been going our way. It's been a rough night, but I feel like if we can get a good start here, just maintain tire wear and not push it too hard too early, I think we can get up there in the top 10. I mean, we were running up there in the top 10 for about 25, 30, and then we started falling back a little bit due to just over pushing. So we just got to keep it calm and collected and hopefully gain a few spots here and make it a little more entertaining for you guys.
Yeah, I mean, this is probably going to be the most entertainment that we've seen the race all night long. Final question for you. What kind of setup changes have you made recently to maybe make those passes more likely?
Doing some spring offset adjustments, trying to bring it just a little tighter. So we're a little loose right now coming off the corner. So just trying to get a little more tightened up a little bit so I can get the throttle down a little bit and pick up a little more speed. But it's mainly just me trying to stay calm and not trying to over push it because I want to keep these top 10s rolling. But, you know, sometimes this is not our night. And tonight it just hasn't been. But, you know, we'll see what happens here. It's going to be fun.
I'm wishing you the best of luck, man, on these last 15 laps.
Thank you guys. Enjoy.
Yes, sir. And that was Ryan Chapman, our first mid-race interview with him. And what a great time to interview him right after the pit stop. Now they're bundled up, so we got one lap to go. Inside of a guy that's kind of hungry to move up through the field. He's going to be starting, it looks like 15th according to the scoring pylon right now. You know, if one incident happens, he might find himself in the top 10.
Yeah, and like I said, you can't have any more of a humble guy. I mean, he's just really cool. I mean, he cut it right down to it, Jeremy. You know, hey, sometimes it's your night. You want to keep those top 10s rolling, but just tonight just hasn't been that night yet. But hey, 16 laps to go right now. It'll be 15 laps when they get that green flag. I mean, right now you can just sit here and roll it, Jeremy. I mean, 15 laps, you can sit here and push it, try to gain as much as what you can. Now's the time to do it. There's no point in holding back. So we'll see what sparks fly here and see how this is going to end up here in 15 laps.
Yeah, this is probably going to get pretty eventful here. 15 lap shootout to end this thing. Long run out the window. Restart is underway. The 19 of Richie Coy basically matches the restart from the 28. Let's see if the 19 can hold that outside momentum and have a first green flag pass for the lead off a corner exit. Cody's just so much stronger on the bottom, able to beat the 19, but it actually also extended the lead between the 08 and the 4 here, as we got two 2x2s here within the top 5.
Yeah, and here's the thing, too, is that is the first restart. Granted, we have not had that many restarts, but that's the first restart that the 28 of Cody McKinney did not clear the outside starter at that second-place truck and be able to hop up in that high line. So now he is forced and locked down to that low line right now. And these trucks have been going at it side by side. Now we are working lap 2 of side by side, and just look at all the side by side racing, Jeremy. And right there, finally completes the pass. The 19 of Richie Coy, your first green flag racing pass. We're not going to count the passes that take place underneath the exchange for green flag pit stops, because I mean that's just a product of green flag pit stops. So this is your true natural green flag pass for the lead.
And this is one of those deals where the yellow flag changes everything up, and it's changing it for the leaders. The 19 for the first time on a fresh set of tires, and got that clean air on the nose of that Ford F-150. Now Cody, he's got to figure this out. He has not been in this predicament for 100 laps. How do you pass someone now? This is, he's been passing lap trucks, which that's not really like super competitive. But this is going to be fun to watch. The 28 has clearly been faster on the short runs and the middle run. He's got the advantage there. He just has the dirty air on his nose now, and he's got to figure out what line's going to work best to get around it and get around back around this 19 as we have 12 to go.
Yeah, 12 to go. And, I mean, dirty air is a thing. The way that he got a truck way back there that just got all out of funk. But air is a real thing when it comes to these tracks, Jeremy. I mean, and we have heard drivers talk about it before that, hey, once I got back behind that driver, I could not get up there to pass them because when you have somebody in front of you that is manipulating that air, a lot of times your truck just does not handle it well, and it changes the way that your entire truck handles. It changes your acceleration points, your brake points, how tight or how loose you are. So it's crazy. It looks like Tyler Brown back there getting a little wobbly there coming off of turn 2. Is that's going to put the 22 of Milikian on the inside to get by him, and then it's going to be the 41 of Gassion behind him that's going to try to open it up. Yeah, Tyler Brown just way loose coming off the corners.
Yeah, silly loose there that time. Yeah, those all the 41. Gassion to get to the inside, try to make that pass effort here. Kicking it back. I want to kick it back to the race leader. The 28 has made some ground on the 19. Basically had the chance to put the nose underneath him in turn 1, but that turn 2, the 19 cleared him so much. So when you pan the TV back, made me look like a fool here, but the 28 closes that up once again through 3 and 4, which seems to be the 28 strong suit, getting close to the outside wall.
Yeah, so strong though. I mean, Cody McKinney's run from center off is so strong, and you can see right now that Richie Coy seems to have Cody edged out on corner entry, but center off is where Cody has Richie Coy edged out. So it's almost a dual-edged knife right now, and it's just kind of a back and forth. I think it's going to come down to a driver mistake, Jeremy. I think is what it's going to have to come down to, because even if Cody gets that run on the inside, I mean, we've seen Richie, he made that pass for the lead on the outside. So I think it's going to come down to a driver mistake, whether it be overdriving the truck, or something along those lines, that's going to actually determine who's going to take this victory tonight, as we got 8 laps to go.
One bobble. That's all it's going to take to decide this race amongst the top 2 here. Cody knows he has the better truck. He's led triple digits, man. 100 laps down on this track. And now he's struggling to get back to where he's been. No discredit to Richie. He's been in the top 3 for, over 2/3 of this race. So, I mean, he's still had a pretty competitive truck, but he hasn't had the lead. 19 shoots up a little bit higher this time. Going to make a diamond effort to kind of recoup the corner. 28 actually hits the transition, gets a little loose himself. It's going to back up, and I see some gray smoke. It looks like someone with an expired motor down the back stretch.
Oh, and somebody just hit the wall hard back there. What happened? I think that might have been that. It looks like that was Ryan Chapman. What happened there? That was hard impact. Yeah, he is smashed hard on that one. You know what? We're actually going to do this the old-fashioned way. We're going to hit the old rewind on the VCR and see what happened.
Oh, Williford, the 33.
Yeah, that happened way ahead of that. So Williford, the 33, goes in. Oh, man, he gets door checked hard. The 27 tries to brake. Oh, collects both the 27. That's where some of that smoke was coming in as well. Man, Jeremy, that is a bad bit of... I mean, that was just who was on the inside of Williford there.
Not sure. That was the 9 of Marshall Johnson that had an expired motor there. Kind of queued us up, but
that was 5. That was Hollinsworth. Yep. Just drifted up just enough to make contact. Williford tried to save it, tried not to come back down. Looks like Brody Hanna got a piece of that. We know that Chapman got a piece of that. Man, tough break. We had just talked to Chapman, too.
And where's the caution? Like,
Nothing.
I'm not talking about FTSR admins. This is normal for them, but like iRacing alone, just I would have thought the speed differential. I know it drives like a short track there through 1 and 2, but I thought that would have been enough to maybe toss it. But I guess not. As we're kicking it back to first and second place, Cody McKinney getting everything out of that 28 Toyota Tundra, gets a little loose off of turn 2. He's been hovering, Dustin, right at a tenth or 2/10 behind the 19. We're coming up to 3 laps to go. This is Cody's better corner, better side of the track. You see it here, gets a good launch. I don't think it's going to be enough to make a pass to the bottom, but if he can do that once or twice more, he's going to give himself a good shot.
Yeah, and the thing is we've seen Richie kind of drift up a little bit more than what he's liked in a couple corners, and he's been able to diamond it off to play. Oh, wicked loose is the 28 as he really tries to put some wheel into it coming off the corner. That was an excellent save, but look at the time he lost on that one there. That's how you know these drivers are pushing it, Jeremy. That Cody is giving it everything he has, so is Richie, because he got wicked loose coming off that corner, but he still closes up that gap, but we're coming to 2 laps to go, Jeremy.
Cody can minimize any mistake here through turn 2 exit. Try to straighten out that exit angle. The number 19 is struggling in the center of this corner. He is. And so the 20 is trying to compensate, and he's getting a little loose. That time he matches the speed that time. As you saw the 19 kind of blink in and blink out, I noticed it on my end too. Of course, Cody McKinney, he's like an actual driver calling for rain or debris on the track when he can. He's like, hey man, you're blinking, noticed it right away. But try to get ahead of his competitor here. But we're coming to the white flag, 1 lap to go, sponsored by nobody. Coming through turn 1. Let's see if the 28 makes a run, drives it deep, gonna make a good diamond. As long as he doesn't get loose. He just gave up too much ground and still had that wobble there. So that's basically all she wrote. As long as the 19 hits 3 and 4, I think the 19 is going to walk off of this one. A little bit of a steal. It was contended for, and he deserves it. And he's going to hold it clean. The 19 of Richie Coy going to be the second different winner in 2 different races in the Martin Sports Truck Series. As this is the Martin Sports winning moment.
Yeah, I mean, solid, valiant effort by the 28 of McKinney on that one there. Tires just too heated up. I mean, it was a 15-lap run. These guys were running it like they were hot lapping it, pulling qualifying laps every lap. So, I mean, tires just got too, just too heated up on that one there. Tried to pull it off and just, couldn't do it. But I tell you what, excellent drive for both of those drivers right there, going for that top spot. But let's not count out the 4 there of Bobby Terrell. He'd been up in the top 3 all day long, Jeremy, and still stayed up there. So he will end tonight in that podium position.
Yep, 2 Fury Motorsports taking the top 3 here at Gateway. I said Richie Coy was going to be good on these short tracks, and there he is doing the burnouts. Only led probably 15 laps. That's all it took for the 19 to get to victory lane. But as he does his classic Polis victory lap around this 1.25 mile Worldwide Technology Raceway, we're going to go over the unofficial results here for tonight's race. Richie Coy, P1. Cody McKinney is going to be 2nd place. Bobby Terrell in 3rd. Sylvain Jolly going to keep it inside the top 5, finishing 4th. TJ Bartel 5th. Curtis Vollmer 6th. Tyler Granat 7th. Powell Milliken 8th. Tommy Schaefer finishes in 9th. Tonight's 10th place truck after that last minute contact there. The number 5 is Stephen Hollingsworth. Robert Malikian finishes in 11th. Tyler Brown in the 00 rounds out in 12th. 13th, Brody Hanna. 14th, Mark Brannigan Jr. 15th, J.P. Burns. 16th place will be the 33 of Sherwood Bulliford. Finishing in 17th is Joseph McKinney. 18th, Alan Duranco, and Ryan Chapman does maintain the lead lap. Last guy to do so in position 19. 20th place, 1 lap down, James Torrey. 21st, Justin Diltz. 22nd, Shad Curran. 23rd, Michael Blackner. 24th, Austin Gassion. 25th, Marshall Johnson. 26th, Lane Allen. 27th, Colton Gum. 28th, Brandon Elder and Colby Mice. Did not take any laps in tonight's event. Rounds out tonight's 29 truck lineup. And this will bring us to our full page commercial break. We're going to gather up Richie, Cody, and Bobby get their thoughts on tonight's race. We'll be back after a few messages. And welcome everyone to the Martin Sports Post Race Show. We've got our top 3 rounded up and see who we can't get a hold of first, which we're going to try for the number 4, Bobby Terrell, who finishes 3rd tonight in that Ford Performance Ford F-150. Bobby, do you have a copy? Bobby, this is Jeremy, the Nerd TV booth. Got a copy?
Yes, sir. You hear me?
Yes, sir. There we go. Hey, man, solid run for you overall. Finishing 3rd, starting in 2nd. We didn't really talk about you much. Very uneventful night for you. Long green flag run. Just kind of stayed out of the way, but able to bring home a decent amount of points there in 3rd place. Good run overall, and just walk us through your night.
Well, it wasn't much to it. I mean, I guess you would say I had a, you know, 3rd place truck. I didn't have nothing for Cody. I didn't have anything for Richie. Uh, Jolly would, he could hang with me for a while. Then I started pulling away from him, so I was just clicking off my laps, you know. Uh, but solid run. 3rd, I'll take 3rd.
Yeah, and I was actually confused with the stage break. I noticed on the stat page it was going to be lap 30. There was a caution about 6 laps prior. I didn't hear any comms, so I'm just curious. Was that the stage break there on that caution?
Yeah, they went ahead and called that the stage because he turned it off because I think it would have been a 1 lap shootout maybe.
Okay, that makes sense there. Yeah, I was kind of curious. I didn't hear it, and I'm like, well, I don't know. It never came about, so that makes sense. But yeah, congratulations overall. Just quietly finishing in the top 3. That's excellent to do if you can do that without a scrape on the truck. Anyone you'd like to thank tonight before we let you go?
Yeah, you guys up in the booth and Martin Sports for sponsoring the series and Full Throttle for putting it on, and all my teammates.
Yeah, and I wish you continued success all season long for 2023B. Hopefully, you'll be contending for that little championship there mid-season.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Yes, sir. Have a good rest of your night.
All right, you too.
And now it's number 4, Bobby Terrell. Now it's time to I want to kick it over to the 2nd place truck. I'm going to steal your name, Dustin, the Heartbreak Kid, with him tonight, leading over 100 laps tonight. Found himself in a late caution and just one position shy, but it should not discredit anything. Cody McKinney, awesome job regardless. That was a hell of a truck that you brought here to Gateway. I got to take you to that restart, though. What could have you done different, man?
Had a better start. Not, I was too focused on making sure my pace speed was just right and not over going too fast or going too slow. Try to avoid a penalty that I've gotten last season. But just paying too much attention to that and not the flag man, and he just he just got a better start, and then I knew right then I should have chose the outside. because I mean, the outside on restarts, if the inside doesn't get clear, the outside's where you want to be. But past couple restarts, I got cleared, so I thought I could do it one more time. But
And Richie's really tough there to try to contend when he's on the top side there, especially in a corner that's progressively banked, so to speak, in a way to help the guy on the top side. And it's really tough for the average viewer to watch these things and realize how much of a mental game it is. It's like, yeah, you have to go through 4 gears and make the corner, but like you mentally, like you said, you're going through a checklist. You're watching this and not that. Kind of caught you a little off guard. So it just kind of shows the, everything that you have to do mentally to get these W's. And did you make any setup changes there on that last caution? I noticed your truck was really stout, not really loose at all, at least when I was watching it through turn 2. And then when you try to run down Richie, it seemed like every single time turn 2 was your kryptonite there. Did you make any changes in pit road?
I didn't. I probably should have. I got some right side damage just trying to get around some lap cars, and I think that kind of just hindered and made the truck a little loose, just so slightly, just enough to where I couldn't get that run. Um, yeah, that last run, running behind Richie is just I could get a run, get right on him, but it would throw the back end around and I would basically lose it all, and it was just trying to keep it straight.
Yeah, I did see those little contacts there with the 91, and then again, I forget the other number, but
The two at
a little
Duranco.
Duranco. There you go. I did notice there was little scrapage there, but it looks like you felt it a little bit in the truck. But you finished first last week. You finished second this week. You're going to be the points leader after 2 races, no doubt about it. Just goes to show this team's effort and how consistent this 28 truck is going to be up front. So congratulations, man. Doing an awesome job so far. Let's see if you can maintain this momentum. But the floor is yours, as always, every time we talk to you. Who would you like to thank before we let you go?
Everybody that helps us with this journey in Kenny Racing, 213 Simware, they actually came on board and got a partnership with them this week. So I'm excited for the future with them. Everybody that puts the league together, all the admins, y'all for broadcasting every week, all the drivers, even sometimes things can get frustrating, but I mean it's a great group of drivers week in and week out. Great racing. Richie, just being, he just lights out that last run, and just appreciate racing clean up, and that was fun.
Yeah, it looked like a lot of fun for sure. And yeah, appreciate all the kind words to all the partners. And go ahead and have yourself a good rest of your night. We'll catch you next week, man.
Appreciate it. Y'all have a good one.
You too. That was the driver of the number 28 Broughton Kennels Toyota Tundra, Mr. Cody McKinney. And now it's time to load up the Martin Sports victory lane here for the number 19 of Richie Coy and the Jersey Mike's Ford F-150. Congratulations, dude.
Hey, what's up, nerds? What a race, huh?
I mean, the middle of the race was a big lackluster. I was really confused on the stage break. I expected, with 1 or 2 to go, there'd be a stage break, but that restart was going to be about 5 or 6 from it. And I was just counting the laps and then counting the laps. And then all of a sudden there's this really long green flag run. And I thought Cody had it sealed up. And then a caution came out. So, what did you do on that restart to hold off the 28 who had just had a dominant truck all race long?
Well, let's start with the stage break. So we decided as a league to do if the caution falls within 5 laps of the stage break, which was supposed to be 30, that becomes a stage caution, so that everybody has an option, the ability to pit under the stage break. But for whatever reason, Gateway, the cautions were so quick that it was going to go back before, and then we actually had to call the stage break off because we called lap 25 the actual stage break, if that makes sense. So
Okay.
yeah, then we had that big long run. I think I was 4th when that thing started, and I just was, biding my time, trying to save tires. And then actually at the end of that run, it looked like I was catching the leader a little bit, and then he pitted, and then I waited 1 lap and lost 2 seconds to him. And I'm like, oh, that's it. And yeah, then the caution came out. And then I put my big boy pants on. He made fun of my sandwich shop, and I had to give it to him Mike's way. Never makes fun of the sandwich shop. Never.
So if you need some motivation to beat Richie, everyone listening, don't mess with Jersey Mike's sub.
Don't
there,
diss
let me
the
tell ya.
subs.
Don't diss the heroes, man. But
You
yeah,
got
I mean, I didn't make any changes. I think the track came to me. Like I said, it just he chose the inside. I'm not sure I would have done that. I might have tried the outside. I knew if I could run up there a couple laps to get him loose off one of the corners, I might get a run. And because we were semi-even pretty much all race long. I know he had a 4-second gap at one point, but I was trying different lines and stuff. But I knew we were pretty even, and I knew if I could get out front, it was going to be hard for him to pass. Just like if he got out front, it was going to be hard for me to pass.
Yeah, you're one of the toughest guys to compete on a restart, and of when you're on the outside position for sure, and with the banking transitioning helping you in your favor. But I also noticed the 28 was able to clear and through 1 and 2 easily over every other restart that he had. So I think mentally he was like, you know what, I got this same scenario again. I'm gonna do it. But he didn't realize the 19 this time was on the top side, and you're able to do it, man. That was an awesome drive. Did it super clean, no car contact whatsoever, and you did it, man. So congratulations on the first win of the 2023 B season.
That was
as always.
That was good
Oh,
stuff,
what you
man.
got?
That was really good stuff. I will say. I also got a shout out, Richie. Head Nerd in Charge on Twitch. You literally had her laughing out loud when you said "put your big boy pants on." So she says I'm dead, and she says she loves your energy.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you. But yeah, no, it's sometimes you got to strap on those big boy pants and go throw it into a corner and hope it sticks. And fortunately, it did. Of course,
Well,
I might have been squeezing some oil and vinegar out the side on his tires as we were going down into one.
Just gonna say, thanks to the Jersey Mike sub, that was your difference there, right?
Never diss the subs, man.
Never diss the subs. Hashtag that for someone. All right, man. Yeah, who would you like to thank though before we let you go this evening?
Well, first and foremost, got to thank Jersey Mike sub for giving me the motivation to get to the front tonight.
There we go.
As usual, my team, Fury Motorsports, with Shock and Awe as our whatchamacallit, side team with Michael Blackner. Bobby and Tony was actually at a graduation tonight, so he didn't get to join us. So congratulations to Tony's kid for graduating high school tonight.
There we go.
And Tony being a good father and going to the graduation instead of coming here to race. So thanks to Bobby, Tony, Brody, Michael. Thanks to everybody for a really good, what I think was a pretty good race. I know it might have, these tracks tend to get boring as they get spread out, but big long run there. So congrats to the league for having a good race there. And as always, thanks to the nerds, man.
Appreciate all those words, and yeah, shout out to Tony there for doing the right thing, being there for graduation. So
Absolutely.
yeah, 100%. We'll catch him back on Monday. But all right, man, go ahead and celebrate with the team and get prepared for the Monday night Mach 1 Performance Cup Series, and we'll catch you then.
All right, guys. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. And that was the 19 Richie Coy and the Don't Diss the Subs Ford F-150 and Dustin. What's your thoughts on this Gateway track?
Oh, man, I felt like pulling a water boy on that one there. And being like Coach Klein and saying, water sucks, Gatorade's better. I was thinking about telling him, hey, I'm a Firehouse Subs guy myself. So, but that's always good stuff. I tell you what, that's guys always got a lot of energy there. It was a good race all the way through. Head Nerd in Charge is laughing at that one too. It was a good race all the way through. Heartbreaker, like you said. I mean, over triple digits led by Cody McKinney. Just like you said, a lot of people don't understand. They think, hey, you're just, racing on a simulator in your home and the AC, you got your drink next to you, it's cool. There's a lot of mental game that goes into this, and it takes just a split second of a mental lapse, and that's the make or break right there. That was the turning point for Cody. I mean, you heard it himself. He stated it. He goes, hey, I was focused on the speed rather than watching the flagman, and that was enough for Richie to maintain going into turn one, which, like we said, every other restart he had cleared going into turn one and was able to go up to that high line. So it's just that little bit. I mean, either way, though, I mean, it was a solid run. It was a clean race. Surprised that a couple cautions didn't come out. That late race caution there with Hollinsworth and Sherwood that started that whole chain reaction and blowing engines and people way off pace. But I mean, the race stewards seemed like that they were being pretty lenient today anyway. So it was a good track. I mean, it's what I would expect from Worldwide Technology Raceway here. So, and it's what I would expect probably come next this coming Monday for the Mach 1 Performance Cup Series.
Yeah, I'm going to expect very similar results here as far as a long green flag run and basically everything that we saw tonight. And yeah, definitely lenient there on the lack of cautions.
Maybe some more wall
especially with the
tags
big
coming off of
wreck.
turn 2 and turn 4.
You know,
I expect to see that in the Cup Series a little bit more.
it's possible. The short track game's been hit or miss with the next gens, but this track being a little bit faster than the average short track. You never know. It's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. So, guys, make sure to tune in this coming Monday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But we're going to get this thing closed out. I'd like to thank our partners one last time, Full Throttle Sim Racing. Thank you for letting us do this for a year and a half now. Plus, really,
Been an awesome ride.
almost 2 years. Yeah, it's been great. And you're gonna see us continuing to do Monday and Wednesday as long as they keep us. We're going to be here for you. So if you want to be on the broadcast or be a part of the action on the track, head over to FTSR.net. Get yourself registered today. Mach 1 Performance, the Monday night sponsor for the Cup Series. It's a race fabrication shop that's produced champions and winners of all sorts of racing divisions. You'll find them at facebook.com/Mach 1 Performance. Sim Racing Points. I mentioned them once before. I'll love to mention them again. It's your points management system that allows you to completely track your league stats and more with one simple upload of the race export. Find them at simracingpoints.com. Martin Sports, top quality apparel to make you look stylish and feel comfortable. You're going to see their whole apparel lineup at martinsports.gg. iRacing iFlag, get all of your notifications fractions of a second faster without ever leaving your focus from the racing action. You're going to find them at iRacingIFlag.com. Butt Kicker, the ultimate feel from the race car with a haptic response system from the Butt Kicker system. And you're going to find them at thebuttkicker.com. Team Watson Racing Setups, quality professionally built setups for all your asphalt oval needs. Find them at teamwatsonracing.com for pricing and packages. Really good setups at a cheaper price point. And lastly, most Roasted Gems Coffee, the Roasted Gems beans just for you. Start your day the right way. Dustin and I can contest. I got some in my fridge as we speak. You're going to find them at roastedgems.com. Get yourself a taste. This is going to be it. We're going to find you guys Monday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Same place on YouTube, Twitch, or Facebook. Just follow the Nerditudes page, and we got you covered. And we got it set up for you. So until then, stay safe. Get your nerd on.